Hey guys, welcome. It's Thursday night and it's day, does that make it four? Yeah, four of this week's 30 books in 30 weeks reading selection. Many of you know we are reading out of this little gem right here, Crucial Conversations. So as you come in live, hey Steph, hey Gary, hey Trish. As you guys come in live, be sure and share this out. We had a great discussion last night about this subject matter, and we are going to kind of pick up where we left off. And yeah, so for those of you who don't already know who I am and are joining in maybe for the first time, let me introduce myself. So I'm Marcy Batiste. I'm a public speaker and I'm an author. And my whole mission is to help women shine, truly helping them ignite their star power. I want them to discover it, embrace it, and then just light the world on fire and truly change the world. And so that's what we're doing this year with 1,000 women. We're going to take them on that journey to igniting their star power. So I'm glad you guys could join me. I also have a consulting company called Bankable Success Advisors, which specializes in my brain just leading recovery solutions provider. Oh my gosh, that's pretty bad when you can't say the name of your own company or what you do, right? So we're a leading recovery solutions provider. So what that means is we help people optimize their time investments, their personal investments, their energy investments, and cure emotional bankruptcy on the personal side. And on the business side, I do work with domestic violence and workplace violence recovery, as well as business contingency planning. So I'm all about being proactive. I'm all about shifting the atmosphere before there's a problem. And so I'm also about raising the bar. And that's what this year is all about, is up-leveling everything that we're doing, everything that I'm doing, everything that my clients are doing. That started with the new laser coaching program. Casey, what's going on? Hey, Jay. The new laser coaching program started January 15th. The ladies are already literally on fire, making changes in their lives, making changes in their businesses. And it's so fun. I mean, I can't tell you guys, I love what I do. And being able just to see them sharing, like, every day there's a new win from somebody. And we're just really enjoying that. But to that, we are having crucial conversations. And communication is an important part of being successful both personally and professionally. And so I thought that this would be a really great book when we talk about raising the bar on love, life, and relationships, that communication is key in every single area, including and especially in business. You can't become an influencer without becoming a good communicator. It's very hard to do that. So last night we got into some heavy discussion. So if you guys haven't watched that video, it's on my YouTube, it's on my LinkedIn, it's on my Facebook timeline, it's all over. I shared it in a number of my groups that I run. So please take some time out and go check that video out, because we're really talking about how you manage these crucial conversations. And in particular, we invested a great deal of time last night talking about what that looks like dealing with family. So people that it's not so easy, like you have other connections. And so we really did some work last night, and it was more like a coaching session than just sharing, because we really talked about some strategies that you can use and you can implement immediately to improve relationships that you have in your life. And always remember, when I say relationships, I don't necessarily mean intimate partners. I mean every single relationship that you are in: coworkers, friends, family, children, parents, siblings, the whole nine yards. Every person that you come into contact with is a form of a relationship, and you teach people how to be in relation with you by what you accept from them and what you give out to them. So having crucial conversations, being able to navigate conversations well at difficult times, is very important. So my daughter is just on here. I'm supposed to be going to meet her, and I told her I really needed to get this done. So let me finish sharing. Crucial conversations affect everything that we do. So being able to navigate them in a way that is healthy is one of the fundamental keys to being successful, both personally and professionally. And so understanding what comprises a crucial conversation I call them high stakes combos. The author calls it obviously a crucial conversation. But there's three different components that they cite. One is emotions are high. Two, opinions are on opposing views. And three, somebody's got something to lose. So stakes high, emotions high, and differing opinions. And so when mismanaged and mishandled, it's the makings of, for lack of a better term, an argument, some sort of a disagreement. And you want to take it from disagreement to dialogue. And to do that, dialogue, the difference is dialogue allows both parties to be respected, have their opinions heard, but still be honest. You have to be able to be honest. You have to be able to be very candid in sharing what your true issue is. And so we talked a lot last night about how to move into that space of dialogue and then how to manage it, because not everyone's going to respect it. Not everyone has the tools. Not everyone makes that investment to learn how to become a good communicator. And so it's difficult when you've taken some time and you've learned some skills and you kind of know some things about how to manage conversations, and then they just kind of throw it to the wind and you're just like, all right, well, that didn't go so good. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight. What happens when you engage in a conversation? Kerwin Brown, what's going on? When you engage in a conversation, starts out okay, and then have you ever had one where you're just like, you go to talk to somebody about something you think is really not going to be that big of a deal, and then like you walk away going, well, that escalated quickly, and you don't really know what happened, and you don't really know where you went wrong or where the conversation went wrong. You just kind of are at a loss. So that's the piece we're going to talk about tonight. It's that piece in the middle, right? So we're going to talk about how do you pick up on that? Like, what are the signs that it's about to go bad? Like, you feel it, but most of us don't pay attention, because when you're in those types of exchanges, you're more focused on getting your opinion across than being focused on making sure that you stay in a realm of dialogue with the person. And so oftentimes when we talk about active listening and things like that, not being so queued up on thinking about what you want to say next or what point you're going to make next and truly listen to the other person's opinion, it's difficult to do. So that's why this is a learned skill. Conversations, being good at conversations, being a good communicator is not natural for most of us. It takes practice. And so the whole premise that the conversation can go really bad really quickly if you don't pay attention it's a real thing. I mean, it can go from not an issue to, hey, I just something I want to run by you, to, oh my God, like I just lost a whole friendship over this because it was mismanaged and I didn't pick up on the cues. And so that's what I want to talk about tonight, is being an active participant in the conversation and realizing that as you begin to exercise these skills and you start practicing these techniques, that you always have to be vigilant. You have to be, what's going on, Bonnie? You have to be the one who's constantly on the lookout for the cues, because you're going to be the one who's trained and who knows what to look for. And this does a couple of things. Number one, it allows you to divert the conversation and try and bring it back down to a manageable level before it gets way too far out of hand. And secondly, it helps keep you calm because you're focused on something else. And that's really important sometimes. When you're focused on making sure that throughout this conversation we stay in dialogue and we don't waver from dialogue, no matter how far left the other person goes, it keeps you calm. It gives you something else to think about. It gives you something else to focus on. So what are the signs when it's about to go bad? I call them, I think there's 3 levels of conversation. There's level 1 where everything's fine. It's kind of like us. We're just having this exchange. No big deal. No harm, no foul. Might have said something that I didn't really particularly care for, but I just kind of let it roll off. That's a level 1 conversation. Goes to level 2. Level 2, you start seeing things like body posture changes. Might see the arms fold. So some body language cues. Level 1 or level 2 is People just clam up. It's they start withdrawing. So somebody who's been throughout the conversation pretty vocal all of a sudden is like, yeah, whatever. All right, whatever. And then you see them with the just never mind, forget it. Just never mind, forget it. I don't want to talk about it anymore. And that's withdrawing. And so so you've got the withdrawing, you've got the minimizing, it's not the big deal. What else? Avoidance, the I don't want to talk about it. So those are kinds of the things. And then the body language cues, that's what kind of brings it into a level 2 conversation. That's your sign that it can go one of two ways. You can bring it down if you manage it well, or it can go all the way left and you risk losing a relationship, you risk losing business, you risk losing your integrity. And I always say, for me, I try to manage conversations so that I never have to apologize. And it sounds kind of arrogant and it sounds kind of but when I say that, what I mean by that is throughout the conversation, I always try to speak to the other person in a way that I'm careful to choose my words. I don't go down a path that I'm not prepared to travel down. So I prepare for conversations. And when I start feeling myself feeling some kind of way, I know that it's time to take a break. And even if it's just you know what, before I respond, let me think about that. Or I can see that this is going really bad right now, or this is has potential to go bad. Let's circle back in a day or so, and then you have to circle back. But I'm very, very cognizant of the fact that words can't be unheard. So once you put it out there, you don't get to take it back. And that's the problem. Most people will not prepare for conversations. They'll get in this heated moment and they let it go past this level 2 to level 3, which is what we're going to talk about. And once it gets to level 3, most of the time things are said that can't be undone. And that stuff stays with you. In particular, if you're dealing with personal relationships, intimate relationships, businesses. I mean, people will just stop doing business with you from a bad conversation. So it's really important to learn to navigate these things. When it goes to level 3, voices get raised. Some people start kind of changing colors. They actually get flushed, start turning a little red. And you're like, oh, okay, you're getting a little red, like you might be a little upset. That's a clue. And oftentimes we don't back down. It's like, oh, I'm getting to them, so let me go hard in the paint now. And it's going to go all the way beyond level 3 to an explosive exchange if you don't learn to identify these cues and then bring the conversations back down to dialogue. What else? So again, more body posture. They might lean into their chair or actually turn away from you, won't even look at you in your face. They start trying to be really controlling of the conversation, over talking you, getting louder and louder and louder. They start doing the whole labeling thing. Will you this? Will you that? Will you this? Then we do the blame thing and the whole name calling thing and shouting. Worst case scenario, we're throwing stuff. That's explosive. It's definitely at a level 3. And you're not ever going to come to resolution. So end it. Call it, cut it, take a break, walk away, whatever you have to do. But know that once you get to, even before you get all the way to level 3, if you're between that 2 and 3 mark, you're probably at an almost irreparable level. Once you get to level 3 or beyond, there's no coming back from that, because you've said things that will always, always, always stay with that other person. You have made the conversation so that there is no more safety, and dialogue rests on everyone feeling safe. Dialogue is a safe space to be honest and to share your opinions, but being mindful and respectful of the other party. And once you get to here, you're clear out of dialogue, and the conversation is very, very crucial at that point, and you do have a lot to lose. So tomorrow we're going to talk about what does that look like? How do you know? And the thing of it is like this is all awareness stuff. This is all awareness stuff. I want you guys to start paying attention as you have just normal conversations. Like I tell you all the time, practice when it doesn't really matter. Don't practice when be careful. When it matters, be very careful. But practice on the little stuff. Practice on the exchanges in the supermarket. Practice on, little stuff with your family, your siblings or whatever. Maybe small, teeny tiny disagreements. Or just sharing something that you just want to kind of let somebody know. But not when it's heated. So you don't want it to already be crucial. And start just paying attention and looking for these cues. You have to be the one who's responsible. You have to be the one who's going to pay attention because you're the one exercising and learning these new skills. And you're the one that therefore then has to be in charge and be the responsible party in the conversation. You can't say, oh, well, they just took me somewhere. No, you went somewhere. They didn't do anything to you. You chose. Everything you do is a choice. So own your choice. When it gets real, realize that you had something to do with that. And so pay attention, because oftentimes we see things in other people that we don't see in ourselves. There's a quote in the book I want to share with you guys. It says, "I've known 1,000 scamps, but I've never met one who considered himself so. Self-knowledge isn't so common." And so that's what this really is about. It's about self-knowledge. Being aware of how you think, how you respond, and what role you're playing in the conversation. And remember that as you begin to exercise these new skills and these new techniques, that you're no longer just a participant in the conversation. You shift from participant to leader. And so therefore you have an additional responsibility to keep it in a dialogue realm if you possibly can. And it is possible. It's just not super easy, especially when it is a crucial conversation to begin with. It's a little bit easier if it wasn't crucial in the beginning. What's going on, Terry? Hey, Diane. Then it's a little easier. But when it's crucial from the get-go, it's crucial out the gate, be careful. Be very careful. Because you can go from level 1 to level 3, off the charts, irreparable damage done before you're even paying attention. So please pay attention to these conversations. Do that for the next 24 hours. Inbox me and let me know how it goes. I'm curious who's having crucial conversations out there. Like I said, if you didn't watch the video from last night, go back, look at that, watch that, and pay attention and start kind of instilling some of these strategies and these techniques. If you want more information, you can always inbox me. We can go in depth. These are all skills that I work with my coaching clients on. My Raising the Bar ladies started on the 15th, and there's several strategies that involve being able to communicate, because I'm a huge proponent of being a self-advocate. And you cannot advocate for yourself if you cannot communicate. You cannot defend your boundaries if you cannot communicate. So we'll invest a lot of time talking about communication skills as well as mindset. So that's my talk for tonight. It's Thursday. My daughter is waiting for me, so I'm going to get off of here and go see my kid. Haven't seen her in a couple months, so I hope you guys also have an amazing night. And in the meantime and in between time, guys, as always, I love you, I appreciate you, and thanks for living life on Mars. We'll talk soon.